Life becomes peaceful and meaningful when a believer learns to leave their matters in Allah's hand. Islam teaches that Allah is the controller of all affairs. He knows what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen long before we even think of it. When a person trusts Allah completely, their heart becomes light because they no longer carry the burden of trying to control everything. The Quran repeatedly reminds us that Allah is the best disposer of affairs, and whoever relies on Him will never be left alone. There are many verses in the Quran that guide a believer toward trust and calmness. Allah tells us that He is closer to us than our jugular vein, meaning that He knows every hidden pain and every silent prayer. He knows the thoughts that trouble our hearts, the worries that keep us awake at night, and the hopes that we whisper only to Him. When a believer places their affairs in Allah's hand, it is not weakness. It is the greatest form of faith. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that if a person truly relied on Allah, He would provide for them just as He provides for the birds. The birds leave their nests hungry in the morning, but they return full by evening. This hadith shows that trust is connected with effort. Birds do not sit in their nests waiting for food. They fly, they search, they work. In the same way, a believer must do their best and then leave the results to Allah. Sometimes life brings challenges that feel overwhelming. Plans fall apart, opportunities slip away, and the future feels uncertain. But these moments are actually reminders from Allah to turn back to Him. Hardships are not punishments. They are invitations. They invite the heart to rely on the one who never fails. A believer learns that every delay has wisdom, every difficulty has purpose, and every test has a hidden blessing. What seems painful today may be a protection from something harmful tomorrow. The Quran teaches that Allah never burdens a soul with more than it can bear. This promise brings strength to those who feel weak. When life becomes heavy, Allah is reminding you of your own hidden courage and patience. Trusting Allah means believing that He will never leave you without help, even if that help arrives slowly. When a person leaves their affairs in Allah's hand, jealousy fades. They stop comparing their life with others because they know that every blessing is distributed with perfect wisdom. What is written for them will come, and what is not written will pass by, no matter how much they try to hold it. Leaving everything in Allah's hand brings inner peace, because the heart finally learns to rest. Instead of fighting every moment, the believer flows with the divine plan. They learn to accept, to trust, and to remain hopeful. With this mindset, fear disappears and faith becomes the guiding light of life. Trusting Allah is one of the greatest sources of peace for a believer. When a person accepts that every event in their life is part of a divine plan, their heart becomes calmer and stronger. The Quran teaches that Allah is the protector of those who believe, and He guides them out of darkness into light. This guidance is not only about faith, but also about emotional strength, clarity, and hope. When a person relies on Allah, they begin to see the world differently. They understand that loss does not mean failure, and delay does not mean rejection. Everything happens at the time chosen by the Creator, who knows what is best for every soul. Many people become anxious because they expect life to move according to their own wishes. But human wishes are limited, while Allah's wisdom is limitless. A believer learns to replace panic with patience. They learn to say, if Allah has written it for me, it will reach me even if the world tries to stop it. This belief protects the heart from unnecessary worry. It removes the pressure of trying to control what is beyond human power. Instead of overthinking, the heart starts to breathe. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that if a believer truly trusts Allah, they will find that whatever happens will always be good for them. If they receive a blessing, they are grateful, and that gratitude becomes reward. If they face hardship, they remain patient, and that patience becomes reward. This means that nothing is wasted in a believer's life. Even pain becomes a source of spiritual growth. Even tears become seeds of future happiness. Trusting Allah also changes the way a person deals with people. They no longer fear the opinions of others. They no longer chase approval or validation. They understand that honor and respect come from Allah alone. People can only affect your life if Allah allows it. This understanding brings freedom. It clears the mind and strengthens the heart. A believer becomes more confident because their confidence is built on faith, not on the unstable world around them. Another part of trust is accepting that the unseen world is real. The Quran teaches that Allah is constantly guarding, planning, and arranging matters in ways that humans cannot see. Sometimes a believer asks for something, but they do not receive it. This is not because Allah ignored them, but because He protected them from something harmful. Sometimes a person loses something they love. This is not because Allah abandoned them, but because He is preparing them for something better. Trust means believing that Allah's mercy is greater than our understanding. A believer who leaves everything in Allah's hand becomes calm in storms, hopeful in darkness, and grateful in every condition. They learn that the world cannot break a heart that relies on its Creator. With trust, every struggle becomes easier, and every blessing becomes more meaningful. This is the beauty of surrendering to Allah's perfect plan. Beginning every action with Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim is not only a phrase. It is a door that opens to the mercy of Allah. When a believer makes Bismillah the starting point of his day, his thoughts, and his journey, then Allah places unseen blessings and peace in his life. In a world filled with worries, people search everywhere for comfort. Yet true comfort begins with remembering the one who controls every heart. Bismillah reminds us that we are not alone. The burden we carry is not ours alone to hold. When we say in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, it becomes a declaration that our strength comes from Him and our success is tied to His help. Even if the path looks difficult, the heart becomes light because it knows Allah is watching over every step. Every prophet of Allah began their mission by taking the name of Allah. When Prophet Nuh A.S. boarded the ark, he said Bismillah. When Prophet Dawood A.S. faced trials, he remembered Allah. When Prophet Muhammad started a journey, he began with the name of Allah. Their success came because their hearts were connected to their Creator. When a believer says Bismillah, his home becomes a place of safety. Angels enter and difficulties leave. Eating with Bismillah protects from spiritual harm. Starting work with Bismillah brings ease. And reciting it before sleep fills the night with peace. Even small tasks become acts of worship because they begin with the remembrance of Allah. In our time, problems come from every direction: stress, relationships, financial worries, health issues. But one simple habit can change everything. Begin every action with Bismillah. It is like a spiritual shield that guards the heart from anxiety and brings barakah in ways a person cannot imagine. May Allah make our tongues soft with His remembrance. May He fill our homes with the blessings of Bismillah, and may He guide us every moment with His mercy. When the heart says Bismillah, the path becomes easy and life becomes filled with light.